Hello! Sorry, I may have gotten distracted right before stream and forgotten to do a couple of things. But it's fine. I'm here now. Alright, 1 second. Let me just... I think I need to send my reference to myself real quick before I swap over. Yeah, sorry. I made food earlier, and I forgot to put it away, and I forgot that I forgot to put it away until I went over, because I realized, oh shit, I forgot to get a drink. And I went to get a drink, and I saw it, I was like, oh, I gotta put that away real quick. And thus, me being late. Okay. There we go, I got my reference. And I didn't pull up Air Server. Cause I'm good at things. I'm good at streaming. It's okay. This is fine. Knock on wood, it hasn't been breaking on me lately, so we should be fine. Okay, yeah, we're good. There we go. There we go. Hello, everyone. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Again, my birthday is not specifically today, it just is the week of. I don't share the exact day of because I'm weird about privacy. But I know people like celebrating birthday stuff, so I would be remiss to not mention it. And I figured I went back and forth on what I wanted to do today. Cause I wasn't fucking sure. And I ended up deciding that I'm just gonna do some illustration stuff. Cause I like never do illustration stuff these days, and that makes me sad. Because I love illustration. I love drawing things, of course. But I specifically love doing like big, fancy illustrations with fancy backgrounds, and I haven't gotten to do them as much. I need like a pose reference as well. But yeah. I hope everyone's week has been good. Mine's been great. Thank you, that's Miss Marjorie. Hi. Hi, bye-bye. Are you being good? Or are you being a menace? She's probably being a menace. I think, yeah. Mia's behind me at the moment. But they're hanging out. Okay, let me look. Where's my poses? Where the fuck are my poses? You're here? Yes. I figured since I'm gonna be working on the next half of the hot shit animatic, I'm just gonna draw Pluto. Because I love my design for Pluto. Oh my gosh, she is looking for trouble, and if she cannot find it, she will create it. That is the epitome of her personality. And I love her for it. She's very funny. But also... Isn't that right? Yeah! I don't know if you could hear that, but she responded. Isn't that right? Yeah! Good girl. Thank you, Diego. You wanna come up here? You gonna be a good girl about it? I'm inviting you. I'm inviting you, baby. Yes, my fingies. Thank you for not biting. She's still a nibbler. Or are you stealing my hat, Diego? Do I have the button for that still? Where is my buttons? Yeah, yes I do. There you go. Can't believe you'd do this on my fucking birthday, Diego, by the way. That's incredibly rude of you. Why are you showing me your butt? I don't need to see that. Thank you, Noodle. Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that, huh? Huh? Are you gonna try to steal paper again? Or stickers? She is such a little shit. She she saw like a page of stickers on my desk, and she was like, "Finders keepers," and she tried to hide them from me. It's pointy like a birthday hat. There we go. Let's see. Ooh, yes, I think I want to do this one. I really like this pose. Man, I am in the middle of streaming. What are you doing? Don't put your stinky butt in my face. Young lady. I can't believe you. But yeah, this week has been nice. I took off most of the week from work so that I could just chill the fuck out and have a nice time and hermit away. And like, I think all of Wednesday, I don't think I spoke to anyone. No, Noodle Kitty, we love you too. All cats are appreciated in this household. Okay, this is a kind of difficult pose, but it looks so cool, and I'm determined to get it right. Oh! Thank you for the subscription, oh my goodness. Oh, a Prime sub, oh my gosh. Honestly, understandable. If you own a cat, you should not own a bird or a fish, and vice versa. They cannot be trusted around each other. Genuinely. You have to have separate rooms for them. But yeah, I'll be hanging out with my dad this weekend, so I'll like at least be going like outside, I guess. But yeah, I basically just hermited away this week. I got dragged back into League, tooth and nail. I can't believe I'm saying this in fucking 2024. I'm playing League of Legends again. That's the, we did D&D yesterday. That's the only reason, like, I did anything other than D&D with people, was to play with them. Ah! Also, like, technically, yes. Technically, even that is not really safe for, like, 100% safe. Like, the safest thing you can do is just not give a cat an opportunity to get to a bird or a fish. But, speaking as a pet owner who has had to separate cats and other things, you can teach a cat that they are not allowed in certain areas, and you can, like, responsibly, keep cats sequestered to specific rooms. Lucas, no! I'm never streaming it! No, come back! Please don't abandon me! Honestly though, very surprisingly, being a new player who does not know what the fuck they're doing, it's not too bad so far. It's not my birthday specifically today. I don't publicly share my birthday. It was, however, my birthday this week, so Listen! Mercy! Honestly, I'm probably gonna play Kingdom Hearts tomorrow. I was thinking about doing it today, but then I was like, no, I really just want to draw today for stream. I really do just want to draw. But I got the like complete collection of Kingdom Hearts on Steam, which I'm so fucking delighted about. Happy birthday to me. But the game I wanted to play the most, and I was so disappointed, was specific to one fucking console, is Dream Drop Distance, and now I get to play it, and I'm very excited about that. Hi Zeno, thank you! So yeah, that's probably what I'll be doing tomorrow, depending on how long hanging out with my dad takes. We'll see. Hi McKinney, thank you. Hi Omni, I'm not judging. I forget to hit the follow button too. Don't worry about it. It's been good. It's been good. I have been dragged forcibly back into League, and I was playing that earlier. I was also attempting to do like some wax seal stuff, but I figured out how to melt it correctly this time, at least. The last time I tried to do a wax seal, it like I don't know what I did wrong. But I definitely messed that one up. I think I heated it up too long and too hot because it was like boiling or something, and that's why it failed. This time I'm actually getting the shape out of it correctly, but I was trying to do like a multicolored one and it didn't work. It's fine though, it's fine. Art is a learning process. It is fun though, but I'm also enthralled by fire, and the only thing stopping me from being an arsonist is, morals. Like, I'd like fireworks a lot more, because it's setting things on fire. But they're loud, and they disturb a lot of people, so no, I don't like fireworks anymore. When I was younger, my birthday was always great when I was younger, specifically because we'd still have fireworks from the 4th, and my sisters and I's favorite thing to do was see what shit we could get up to with bottle rockets. So we did stuff like, you know, tie a bunch of bottle rockets together, see how many we could set off at once. We'd never aimed them at people, we were never like that at least, but we definitely were not following safety procedures. My personal favorite experiment was when we cut the like stick off of it and we dropped it upside down into the bottle just to see what would happen. That was fun. Don't do that at home. No. I don't know if that's better than worse than now I punch a child as a clip. No, we never did that. Thank you, McKinney. You have a great weekend. Sparkler. That sounds fun. See, here's the thing about, you know, actually fighting each other. we're the kind of similar. I mean, that's a skill issue. in my opinion. I never set off a car alarm with fireworks. But no, we didn't want to hurt anyone. We're just like little scientists seeing what nonsense we can get up to. And we only really had bottle rockets to work with. I think we had sparklers when we were doing that shit, but we were also out in the middle of nowhere, so we weren't about to like shoot a bottle rocket into somebody's house or something. But also lighting things on fire is a lot of fun. The only reason I haven't gotten into candle making is because if I get into candle making, I'm gonna have so many fucking candles on fire at all times. And that's probably not a good thing when I have 2 cats in the house. Shut up, Diego. Please. Hi, Bob. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Also, I have to go look at the cat tax. Thank you for sharing, cat. I love kitties. Oh my god, this is so cute. Oh my goodness. They're so cute. Thank you for sharing. I love tuxedo cats. They are my favorite pattern of cats. And Pixie is absolutely adorable. Thank you so much. I also very much adore black cats. I mean, Marjorie speaks for herself. So I'm just delighted. I love the first picture. Very good. What was I talking about? I know I was talking about fireworks, but I was talking about something before that, and I have forgotten what I was talking about. I got so enthralled by the topic of fire that I got distracted. I know I was supposed to talk about crafts, like art stuff today, which I will get to eventually. Okay, honestly though, I'm not gonna lie, I've been tempted. Goodness. I don't need to be called out like this. I mean, I was about to call myself again. Like, one of the craft things that's on my list of, like, things to learn is, learning how to, do glass blowing and make, like, small things out of glass. 'Cause they're so cute, and I love them. And also, molten glass looks like lava. And given the opportunity to do safely, I would touch lava in a heartbeat because that sounds cool as fuck. I have been told that I'm not allowed to touch lava though, and that it's very dangerous, and I'm highly aware of that. However, consider one day it becoming something you could do with like safety equipment. Right? It looks like candy! Thank you for understanding me, Lucas. Fire does smell good. Like, interesting. I do not like the smell of smoke, but like a nice like campfire or something like that, that's great. Thank you for understanding me. Like, I'm not interested in eating it because obviously I would fucking die. But like, if somebody made like a suit and gloves that you could like hold lava with, even for a short period of time, I would do that! That sounds like fun! That sounds like an incredible experience! I'm just enthralled by lava, I'm sorry. It's the arsonist in me. You did not miss the rant of materials, Diego. That rant is definitely going to be at least an hour long, knowing myself. Knowing myself. Yeah, only once. If only. But yeah, what was I talking about? I got distracted by lava. it. It's really cool. It's an incredible natural process that makes some really fucking cool materials and minerals. I'm sorry, it's incredibly cool. I should probably do some drawing, huh? Oh my god. Yeah, welding is another one. Like, I don't have the space at home to do anything with welding or glass blowing, and I don't know any places near me. But yeah, I would love to do both at some point in time. I want to learn how to do soldering, but the last time I did it, again, I just kind of fucked it up entirely. But my dad has told me where I went wrong on all the things, and I've learned a couple other things. Cause like there's always those people on YouTube and like TikTok who are doing fake stained glass type stuff, or maybe it's real stained glass. I don't know what it's actually considered, but they're basically just soldering pieces of glass or acrylic together. Is the process that they're doing there, and I noticed some of the materials they were using I was not using at all, and I was like, oh, you know, that's probably why I was fucking it up. But yeah, I'm interested in learning soldering, because I think that would be fun to do like metal stuff with and make jewelry with. And I guess, I mean, it would be cool to do some cut glass, stained glass type of thing, but I don't really care about that as much. I feel like with glass, I would just hurt myself. I would find a way. Like, I would do everything properly and yet still find a way to fucking hurt myself. I don't know what it is with me and, like, ceramics and glass, but they just always break on me. Like, when I was younger, I play is not the right word. I worked with, like, natural clay. At this like little workshop thing that my parents were taking me to, because they were also doing stuff with clay there, and the first thing I ever made was like this really cute rabbit statue thing, and I was so excited about it, and I made sure I did everything properly, and then it fucking broke when they put it in the kiln. But I can bet so much money that it was not my fault because I did everything properly. I did! Bits? Jar? Clarify. What do you mean, Diego? I'm not sure what you're referring to. Also, thank you for the follow. But yeah, oh, actually, honestly, speaking of clay, this is my segue into the art materials rant that I mentioned at Discord. Hi, Philip! I have a bone to pick with the way that some people in the art community talk about art materials, because there's like two prevailing opinions that I see about it. One is that you have to be using certain materials to succeed, which is not one I see very often, except for like digital art typically these days. But there are certain people where it's just like, no, you have to be using something like this or this specific brand or something like that. And then there's the other side of it, which is the one I see more often, probably because we're in an economic state where expensive art supplies are not exactly in everyone's budget, typically, and that is, it doesn't matter what supplies that you're using, it just matters that you keep practicing. And I want to say that both of those are bullshit. I don't consider the second one snobbery. The first one is definitely, like, elitist snobbery, where it's like this, like, oh yeah, if you're not using the super expensive Copic markers, you're not a real anime artist. You're just a hobbyist or some bullshit like that. Like, who fucking cares? It doesn't matter. Copics are incredibly expensive, and they're not necessarily the best alcohol markers on the market. They've got other things in the market now that are the equivalent. Honestly, like, okay, I will admit, I am in a position where I can spend money on art supplies. Like, one of my birthday presents to me was getting Posca acrylic markers because I wanted to play with them. And I'm fortunate enough that I just have a fucking dragon's hoard of art supplies that I can pick and choose to mess with at any given point in time that I want to. And I still struggle with a lot of different types of art. And it's... Sorry. I just saw Mia jump in front of the camera. Hi, baby, are you okay? Is she bothering you? She being annoying? I'm sorry, baby. What was I saying? Right, like, so, ever since I started drawing, which was ages ago, I've been drawing since I was, like, 7. I've been doodling on papers for schools longer than that. But ever since I, like, actually started trying to learn to draw and whatnot, and, like, started my first sketchbook, I've been trying to learn how to paint. Because that's like the type of art that you hear about the most at first, even as a kid, and understand, like, oh, this is fine art. So I've been trying to learn that. And I still, to this day, have not succeeded to learn how to paint. It's been over 10 years. And, like, part of it is just I didn't know certain techniques and stuff, and that's totally fine and whatever, but the other part of it is you do need the right materials to get it to work. They're not necessarily the most expensive materials on the market, but, like, being told over and over and over again that it's not the materials I'm using, it's just I'm not doing it correctly for ages upon ages, it's just like, it's so demoralizing. And there's people I've talked to who are like, yeah, I wish I could draw like you, but I tried and I didn't succeed. And I'm just like, that doesn't sound right. Like, if you try, you should be able to succeed at it. It is quite literally like the basic kind of skill where practice does make perfect. Even bad practice makes perfect with art. And they're like, no, I tried and tried and tried, but it didn't work out, and I was so confused by that, and it stuck in my mind for the longest time. And then I thought about me with painting, because I've tried for years and years and years to try to paint, and it does not work. I have tried different paints. I have tried different brands of paint. And finally, just this year, I have figured out what the issue was. Part of it is probably paper. I personally prefer to paint on wood with acrylic. That is genuinely, like, my favorite thing to do when I do paint. I got confused because I've been seeing, like, the past 2 years people in, like, TikTok and YouTube and stuff painting with, like, gouache and acrylic, and they have this, like, beautiful brush strokes, and I'm just like, how do you do that? I've never had the paint I use react in that way. But you've listed the materials you're using. I'm using the same stuff. And I figured out it's the fucking brushes I'm using. It's not that they were not designed for acrylics. It's just that they were designed poorly. And they had the wrong materials, because the material of the brush you're using should be different depending on the type of paint you're using. If I recall correctly, it's like, for watercolors and stuff, you want to use stuff like horsehair, and for acrylics, you want to use synthetic materials. Which is not something people tell you. And it's not a skill you can learn, and it's not something you're gonna figure out when you go to the Hobby Lobby or the Michaels down the street, because they just have them all labeled as the shape. And sometimes they have them separated by, like, oh, these are designed for acrylics and these are designed for watercolors, but they don't tell you the difference. And they don't look different, other than maybe a color difference. And honestly, the brushes they have there for watercolor are dog shit. Wanna know how I know? Because watercolor's the one I struggle with the most. But there's so many little nuances to it that you don't think about when you know what you're doing with it, and they don't teach you about it unless you decide to go into it for, like, your college degree. Probably not even then sometimes. And you sit there confused because you're like, I'm doing everything that I've been told to do and it doesn't work. So it can't be a skill issue, because I'm doing it right. I've been told I'm doing it right, but it still isn't working. And sometimes it just simply is a material issue, and then it becomes this whole thing of just like, well, not everyone can afford the materials to do that correctly, and it's just like, well, shit, man. We do this whole thing over starving artists and stuff like that, but like, it's just a vicious cycle. And I've been thinking about that lately, in regards to paintbrushes, specifically, because some of those get fucking expensive. Like, there's like this like super snobby, I wouldn't call it snobby, but it's like a higher end art store chain. I think it's like Jerry's Art Sama or something like that, and they have like fine art materials there. And I went there because I was like, okay, I need to get nice paint for the ball jointed dolls that I want to do. Because I don't want to just put like really shitty acrylic paint on those. That seems like a bad idea. It already does not last well on the wood things that I paint. So it's definitely not going to do good on the ball jointed dolls that are very expensive. So I went there and I got like fancy paints there, and I only got a couple because they're absurdly fucking expensive. And I was looking around at the brushes, and there were some of them there that were like $20 or more for a singular like teeny tiny brush, and I'm just like, what the fuck is that made out of? And I'm just like, what? For, like, in general, or for the character Ambrosia? The character Ambrosia started with me streaming, which was about 3 years ago? And then in general, my first sketchbook, I believe I got back in, like, 2008 or 2009. I drew traditionally for several years. And then I found out about digital art through YouTube speed paints, specifically Warriors Cat speed paints. I don't even know how I managed to figure out Googling Warriors Cats and finding art for them on YouTube, but I just kind of like stumbled into it as a child. I was like, great, I'm already into this book series. I'm gonna watch people draw cats all day. And I eventually convinced my parents to get me a tablet, which was one of those shitty Wacom tablets, like one of the smaller ones. And then I used, it was something like Corel Painter Illustrator some shit that came with the tablet, which brings me to another point. I am so frustrated these days with the state of very large art software companies. Specifically, I'm sure the one that comes to everyone's mind is Adobe and the Creative Cloud and the pricing on that. It is absurd. It is ridiculously expensive for absolutely no fucking reason. For any artist, they're scummy as hell on every single level of the contract that you have to work around that they force upon you if you want to use Creative Cloud or Photoshop or any single one of their things. And it's absurd, it's stupid, and it's frustrating, because on the subject of art materials, is art software as a material for people to use to draw? And every time that Adobe adds some new fuckery to their shit, and their terms of service, I always see these lists of different software thrown around. They're like, if you want to do this, use this. If you wanted to use Photoshop, you use this instead. It's a free alternative. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's a different program, and it does what it does pretty well. But there is a reason that certain products are considered top of the line. And I personally don't think Adobe's worth the price line that they put it at, but there's a reason that it's industry standard across the board, and it's because it has certain things in it that you just cannot get in another program. I know specifically I was looking for a vector program that I could work with to make logos, and I've tried a few different ones that are free. I've tried Canva, I've used GIMP before, I've used several other ones before, and I got an opportunity to use like a free trial of, I think it was Photoshop specifically. It was either Photoshop or Illustrator, and like, it took me 5 minutes to figure it out. When I was like incredibly confused trying to learn through other programs and stuff like that. But it took me 5 minutes to figure out the vectors in Illustrator to make not a great logo, but a decent logo compared to doing it in any other program I've worked with. And I'm just like, and y'all want to tell me there's an equivalent to this? When I looked at your equivalent and it did not do this specific thing, like, it's frustrating that artists are essentially put into a position where they just cannot use the best tools for the job. And so they have to scrape by, and then it becomes kind of a class thing where it's just like, some people can afford the fancy, expensive shit, and other people just have to make do. And I'm like, wow, that fucking sucks. I think it's nice that there are more programs nowadays that are considered industry standard, at least. Like, for illustration, there's Procreate, there's Clip Studio, which is definitely one that's becoming a more industry standard thing, and stuff like that. I will continue to be a fucking gremlin and use Sketchbook, but I do know, in fact, that when it was still an Autodesk product, Sketchbook was an industry standard for certain things. It was used in certain places. For, I think, storyboarding, specifically, is what I heard it was used for. I didn't get it because of this artist that I followed that was using it for their actual work, but at the time that it was still under those umbrellas of companies, I found out that some of the artists that was, one of the artists I was following happened to be using it for work, and I was like, wow, really? This program? This one? And I was just like, huh, I would never have considered this an industry standard. Like, it, honestly, it's bad for hobbyists at the state that it is, which is significantly better than it was at the time, too. But it's also, like, understandable because, like, Adobe for personal use is already fucking expensive. And for enterprise use, it's even more so, because they're just like, oh, you're a company? Well, now we can charge you more for that. That's just absurd. It's genuinely absurd. Because, like, sure, large companies can pay an arm and a leg for that sort of thing, but smaller companies can't. Which means, like, animation programs and stuff like that, same boat as Adobe, where it's absurdly expensive. It's hundreds of dollars. Like, at least with certain programs like Cubism, you can get a version of it that is free and you can use it, but even that is just like, well, how much can you really do in the free version of Cubism? Which, if you're not familiar, Live 2D Cubism is the program that most people make Live 2D models for VTubers in. They're usually drawn in a program, a different program, and then they're imported in, and that's how you do the rigging for it. And, I don't know, it's been on the mind lately. It's been frustrating. Specifically, very frustrating that I finally realized the reason I could not paint with acrylics properly, no matter what I tried, was just because I used the wrong fucking kind of brush. You didn't, like, quite miss it, Wazer. I'm still on the rant, but I did start it already. But yeah, it's just been on the mind that it's just like, no, materials do actually matter, and it's cool that some people will do art with just, like, ballpoint pens and stuff like that, and, like, I'm not saying that's bad art, I'm not saying that's not art. I love drawing with a ball-pointed pen. I think you can do a lot of really fun shading with it. But the fact is, and fact remains, if you put a better pen in my hand, not only is my wrist not going to be fucked up as badly as drawing with the ballpoint pen is going to feel, it's probably gonna look better in the end. And it's probably gonna be easier. And I don't think it's a bad thing to praise art that's used with lesser materials, and I think the more accessible materials there are, the better. But also, like, I feel like there should be more opportunities for people to use materials. Like, something that I've heard about recently in my area, which I plan to go to at some point, is two things actually. One is a creative reuse place, which is essentially like a thrift store specifically for craft materials, which I think is super cool. And I've been there a few times, and they mostly have like scrap wood and fabric and stuff like that, but they also have stuff like very nice pencils, like Prismacolor pencils and stuff like that. And it's just like, this is so nice, because like, I know I personally could definitely donate some of the materials I don't use anymore. I've got like some oil pastels or something like that. I think they have spray paint there as well. I didn't look in that section. But like, it's nice to see that there are more opportunities for people to get materials that are like genuinely the quality that they need, and the quality that will help them actually learn how to do the art that they want to do, rather than struggle with it for 10 fucking years, only to find out the reason everything feels wrong is because it is wrong. But also, the other place that I've heard of in my area is not a store, it is like a hangout place where they have art materials there that you can use and try out. Like, they'll have markers that everyone can borrow, and they'll have pencils and pens and paints and clay and fabric and stuff like that. And it's just like, I wish there was more of that. I wish that when I was in high school and such, I didn't have to pay, like, I think it was a ridiculous amount. It was a lot of money just to have a set of materials that was still dog shit, because it was like mass bought materials for the entire class, and they were not good materials. The only like worthwhile materials in the box that we all were all forced to pay for, because it was a required class, was there happened to be 2 Prismacolor pencils in there. And that's it. Thank you, Ash. I'm on my art material rant right now, for context. And I was so frustrated at the time, because that was one of the first times that I was trying to learn how to do watercolor, was in freshman year of high school. And I don't remember if it was a material that I happened to buy myself, because I knew I already had like a bunch of stuff, like Prismacolor pencils and stuff like that, so I was like, hey, I already have all the supplies on this list, can I just bring my own in? And they're like, that's fine. And I had one of those water brushes, where it's like a plastic brush that has water in it, and you can squeeze it to drain a little bit of the water so you can use it for watercolors. And I remember at some point that I was trying to use that brush because it was the one fucking time with watercolors that it actually felt like I was doing something correctly. And then my art teacher came over and was just like, oh, you don't want to use those. Those are garbage. I'm like, ma'am, are you looking at the page? Because if you looked at the page, you would notice that for once in my goddamn life, I'm painting with watercolors. Like, what the fuck? It was working for me. And because you're snobby about art materials, you didn't like it. And that's stupid. Because I feel like, instead of that, she would have given me a shitty paintbrush that would have given me worse results, because it also would have done the wrong thing, but it was just in the right shape for her type of deal. Which I think is stupid. And it's just like, this rant in particular is weird. I'm aware, because I'm ranting to both sides of something at the same time. Because there's no, like, in-between that I often see. like, I'll sometimes see people talk about, like, budget materials, which I've tried some of those budget materials, and it's not that they're worse than the expensive ones, it's just that they're cheaper. And that's it. Like, they're actually still good materials to use and whatnot. And people throw a hissy fit because they're not like the professional grade stuff. And it's just like, we don't need professional grade stuff. We just need materials that will work. That's it. That's it. They just need to work properly. Because again, I'm constantly using the example of watercolors for myself because that's the thing I've struggled with the most. But like, there are different grades of pan watercolors, the type that are like in those little chalk cake looking things. And like, you know, when you're a kid, you get all those really shitty ones that don't really work properly. But you're told that they're supposed to work properly, and then you try to use them and you're like, well, I guess I just suck at art. I guess I'm just bad at painting. And that was absurdly frustrating because the thing I hate the most, the art advice that I've gotten that I hate the most, but it's also ended up being possibly the most useful piece of advice I've gotten, despite the just scathing elitism from it, was I went to this art festival fair thingamajig and during high school, later years of high school, not freshman year because I moved, and I think I was there for a school thing, but I was also just there because like I fucking love art. Like, I just want to see pretty art, and I actually bought something from there. I still have it somewhere. I might be able to find it. It was this print of a watercolor fox, and I was talking to the dude who painted all of them, all of the stuff in there, and I was like, wow, this is really gorgeous. You know, I've personally struggled with watercolor for a long time, and I was wondering, like, how did you get these, like, such vivid, beautiful colors and stuff like that? And this man, in the rudest fucking voice, for a paying customer of all things, like, he's lucky I didn't just go, oh, I guess I'm not buying this, thanks. Like, he just goes, oh, I just use expensive paints. And he just, like, smiles at me like I'm a fucking idiot. And I'm just like, what? First, I was literally, like, mid-paying you for your art, by the way, sir. So first off, hey, what the fuck? Second off, I was very clearly complimenting your skill and your abilities. And I'm also clearly a student trying to learn. I'm not trying to steal your customers or anything. I don't know what your problem is. So there's clearly, like, there's no reason for him to react that way. But also, he was right. That's the worst part about it, is that he was right. He was right in that the materials I was using not necessarily needed to be professional grade, but they were cheap. And they were shitty, and they didn't work properly, and that's why I was struggling so much. I have a cheap set of pan watercolors that I got more recently, and that I've been trying out. And they don't give me, like, super vivid colors like this guy had. But I have a black that's actually black now. And I have watercolors that actually work like watercolors now. And do the things that I would expect them to do. Even if I'm not painting properly, it's at least responding the way it should. So that I can actually practice and learn from my mistakes and get better at it. And it's just so fucking frustrating. Because to find something like that is affordable but is also actually usable these days is so annoying. Because, like, you get, like, one good brand and then, like, 5 other brands that are clearly just scams. And it's just like, can we not? Like, let's go back to an earlier example with me talking about wanting to learn how to solder. the tool I got for soldering said it was a tool for soldering, came with the things it needed for soldering, and it was not a tool for soldering. It didn't work properly. I think it was just a repackaged wood burning tool that could not properly solder. And it's just like, hey, why? What the fuck? In someone else's hands, honestly, even in my own hands, like, that could genuinely be a danger to somebody's health. Hi, Infinity! Thank you for the birthday wishes. Sorry, I'm mid-rant. I'm talking about art materials. And honestly, on a similar subject, oh, no, you're totally fine. I'm interrupting myself every 5 minutes. Do not fret. I'm having fun. Hi, Daishima. There genuinely are some really, like, garbage tools and things out there, and it's terrifying, especially these days with things like TikTok, where, like, people are sharing new, exciting art things people can get into that are also can be incredibly dangerous. Every time I see somebody working with resin with no gloves on, I freak the fuck out. Like, what? Hello? Why are you not ventilated? Why do you not have gloves on? You're touching resin with your bare hands? Are you fucking insane? If you weren't aware, resin, you cannot touch it with your bare hands if it is not fully cured. It is dangerous. It is toxic. And on top of that, food-safe resin is like a fucking misnomer. It's not true. You can't actually, like, have food-safe resin. It'll still leak out the toxins that are in it. You can use it just fine for, like, a little, like, dish to put, like, jewelry in or something like that, but do not put food in a resin bowl. Do not do that. And I constantly see stuff like that all the time. I'm just like... And it scares me because it goes on top of this whole thing of, like, learning about the materials you're trying to use because no one actually properly teaches you how to use them or what's safe and whatnot. And okay, but you're not wrong, Daishima. Like, yes, glazes are also can be dangerous if you do not know how to properly use them, but ceramics are food safe. If you're using glazes on a ceramic and you properly fire it in a kiln, that is always going to be food safe. As long as you're using a food safe glaze. Yes, Lucas. It's very much like that. The toxins in resin will leak out into the food. Food safe, quote unquote, resin has to be cured exactly properly to continue to be called food safe. And even then, I've personally heard that you are not supposed to use it, like, long term for food. Like, if you put, like, some chips out for, like, 15 minutes or something, that's fine, but, like, you can't just leave food in it, type of thing. It's still not safe. Please use ceramics and glass. Those are, in fact, food safe. Oh, speaking of ceramics, so this is kind of, like, on the... art material rant, but this is honestly just, like, a personal pet peeve. I fucking hate polymer clay. I'm so mad about it too, because it felt like it was a watercolor thing for the longest time, where it was just like, there's something I'm missing to make this work for my brain. But I think it's just that polymer clay hates me, and I hate it, and it's mutual, and if somebody else wants to make me something out of polymer clay, please do, because I still think it's cute. But I'll kill it with fire, given the opportunity. Like, I thought I was gonna love polymer clay because I like natural clay. As I said, I've used natural clay before to make things, and given the opportunity and access to a kiln, I would do it again. It's a lot of fun. Pottery wheels are difficult to use, but they're fun. They're fun as soon as you figure out how to use them. But I don't know what it is with polymer clay. I know it does, but I was using Sculpey, like the expensive brand. That is the one that everyone recommends because it's a good brand of polymer clay, and it doesn't want to work for me. And like maybe my flaw for this was that I was trying to use air dry clay because I didn't feel like firing it in the oven, but also like I was also recommended the air dry clay, and it didn't work. It didn't work. But I've also tried the polymer clay that you do fire by just baking it in the oven, and it didn't like me either. Like I tried to like do a thing where like I scored and attached two pieces together and they would not stick. And I do not understand, and it does not work like I would expect clay to work. I would hesitate to call it clay. But if you put me in front of a pile of mud that was mostly clay, I could make a good fucking vase out of that, okay? I know how to work with clay, it's just polymer clay doesn't like me. I'm actually sad that I haven't gotten to work with clay in a while. The last thing I made with clay, I think this is very funny. No, that's not clay! That's not how clay should work. I don't like that, Daishima. I do not like that. That's cursed. That's devilry. That's black magic. Get that away from me. No, that's not how clay works. You score and slip clay to connect it together. That's stupid. I'm just joking. really, Chris, this is a prank. This is a joke. Oh goodness. The last thing I made out of clay, like, properly and fired in a kiln was for one of my high school art classes. And it's so funny because, like, the thing I made freaked everyone else out. They were like, this is kind of creepy. Why the fuck did you make this? And I'm just sitting here grinning evilly. It was like, it was not made well, which added to the creepiness of it. But, it was like this bust of a jester for an art contest thing. And I was delighted by it personally, but everyone else hated it, and it made me sad and made me not want to like show it off to people because they're like, "This is creepy. You made this? You like this?" I'm like, "Yeah. I'm sorry, you don't have taste." Oh, I can explain that, Lucas. So, slip is, it's just watered down clay. It's just water with clay in it. It's usually like something like 50-50, where it's just really, really muddy water that's mostly clay, honestly. And it acts as sort of a glue when you're attaching two clay pieces together. Rather than just mush it together, you put the slip there to act as that glue, and then you can very gently push the two pieces together and what's the word? You can use tools to like mush the outside of the clay together and whatnot without actually destroying the entire piece, which is very useful. Because with natural clay, it is usually kind of fragile unless it's like a solid clay chunk. It's very easy to accidentally destroy a lot of work. And scoring is just, if you have, I'm gonna do a drawing for this. If you have two pieces of clay that you want to connect together, like if you've got this piece and you've got this piece, when you're using slip to connect them together, the way that you do that is you make like little scratches on both sides of the places that you want to connect them together, and then you paint a bit of slip on and then you mush them together. And it's kind of just like the same idea of like sanding something down to paint on it. It gives it a bit of tooth to hold together. Although you do have to be careful about it, because a big thing with clay in general is that you have to worry about air bubbles, because even a small air bubble in the kiln will expand explosively, and it could break your piece into several pieces, and then you'll be a very sad day. If you weren't taught that, Lucas, when you were working with clay, you had a bad teacher, because that is the most basic of basics when it comes to working with clay. Like, genuinely, like, that's the first thing you should learn. Everything else is just like, oh, you know, carve some of it out so you use less clay, or do certain things to make it to where it's easier to fire it or glaze it or whatever. Nobody cares about those. That's different per the requirements of your kiln, what you want for your art piece and whatnot. What do you mean? Can you clarify on that, Dashima? Because I have had pieces in the kiln explode. Because there were air bubbles in it. I know that, like, tiny air bubbles are probably fine. Like, you're not gonna get every single air bubble out of it. But if you have significant amount of, like, it not working right, then it might explode because of expansion from air. At least that's my understanding. That's what I've been taught. That wasn't an art teacher thing. That was from the place I worked with clay, like the workshop. Although, again, you weren't here when I was talking about this. I'm still... I know for a fact I did not have air bubbles in that rabbit that I made for my first ever ceramic piece. I'm very upset by the fact that it exploded. Really? So it is just a drying out thing. That does make sense, though, that it would affect the rate at which it dries out, and then that would therefore affect whether or not it survives the kiln. Hi, Kira! I mean, it's still good practice to get rid of as many air bubbles as you can. But even if that's not the direct cause of it. Because if there are air bubbles, I would expect that to still make the piece more fragile. Thank you. I'm thinking if I like this pose. Yeah. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if that was the cause. It's okay. One day I will remake that rabbit in all of its glory, and it'll be beautiful, and I will put it on a shelf and gaze longingly at it every day with delight. I always feel bad. I always feel bad when there's like I've seen occasionally like posts on social media that are just like little silly things where it's just like, oh, the pictures that you have as your like phone background are like the most important things to you. I was just like, I look at my phone background and it's just art of my characters or art that I personally have made. I'm like, but there's important people in my life too. But I don't have like a lot of photographs of people. I just hang up a lot of my own art and stuff like that. Yeah, no, you're correct. High school, middle school, elementary school art, all bullshit. It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. It genuinely is. And it's frustrating. Like, if any of you here are in high school, do not take AP classes. But especially do not take AP art. It's not worth the stress. It's not worth the pain. It's not worth the shit that your teacher will put you through just so you can get enough pieces for the fucking portfolio. It's not worth it. And I say that as somebody who got a 5 on that test. It's not worth it. I mean, right now my phone background is a piece I commissioned from my friend Jelly of Ambrosia. And it's both wallpapers on that. And then on my iPad, I think if I just lock this and unlock it, this is one of my characters. This is a redraw of one of my favorite traditional arts that I've done. And then, I think my I think my desktop is also, yeah, it's also a picture I commissioned from Jelly. They do wonderful art! I'm gonna get all of my characters dropped by Jelly one day. Ooh! I'm also just bad at, like, taking pictures, like, when I go on family outings and stuff like that, and I feel bad about it. I feel like I need to take more and, like, have the memories, you know? Okay, this pose, I like where it's going, but I feel like it's not enough. It's not Pluto enough. Pluto is, like, absurd and extroverted and blah 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 blah. Excitable. It's too stiff. I'm drawing Pluto from one of the animatics I've drawn for context. Do I have their reference on hand? This Pluto. You get that shit out of here. No, we're not talking about Hoyle. That is a whole nother rant I could go on today. I haven't seen the trailer for Natlan. And I don't think I want to, because I'm quite certain it'll just make me angry. For the exact same reason I didn't play it when Sumeru released. I'm not caught up with the story, but I have my C6 right now, so it's fine. I can come back anytime. Honkai? Or is there some other thing? I don't know what that acronym is. Maybe I need her to, like, lean back? But then that doesn't make sense with the legs. I just want to draw her being cute. Pluto, why do you have to be difficult? Maybe I'll just do like a close-up. I got the sketches started for finishing Hot Shit, and I'm super happy. I had like a really strong idea for a good portion of it when I was working on it originally, but I ran out of steam, and that's why I didn't do the whole song at once. Nope. 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 Get the fuck out of here. Yep. I don't know why I had a Twitch extension that let me just like right click delete people, but it's not working. Oh, there we go. Now it's working. Okay, cool. I have a Twitch command thing that'll tell me to bring it back, but I don't have one on YouTube. But if you want me to bring it back, fear not, I can just turn it back on. Yeah, this feels better. This is more Pluto. I'll have to steal a hand from somewhere to get that right, because drawing hands is pain. Hat jump scare. Oh. I refuse to get another gacha game on my roster. Haven't you heard? I'm already cursed by finally getting FOMO'd mode back into League. I don't need a gacha game. On top of that, I'm already cursed. I got Shiny Nikki. I got Hoyo. I don't need more. Honestly, yeah. I will say, new player experience has been better. They have somehow made the UI worse. Like, I feel like from the last time I played League, which was like 7 years ago, and looking at it now, I'm just like, how did they make it worse? How did they make this more confusing? Previously, it was very easy to tell where everything is. Why are there like 3 different battle passes in League now? And also, why do I keep clicking on them instead of the store page? I feel like the store page, you know, where I get the other characters I need to play the fucking game, I feel like that should be a little easier to get to. I'm not surprised, Wei. I'm really not. Also, just friends that were playing League finally got convinced me, dragged me kicking and screaming into it. I originally stopped playing League because I felt like it was too repetitive as a game. I did not enjoy it at the time. I still feel like it's a very repetitive game that I would not enjoy playing for long periods of time. But it is very fun to play with friends because, as Wei has said, we just do silly things in there. And honestly, it's a free game, so doing silly things in a free game is fun. And I'm okay with that. That is not me trying to convince anyone to play League, though. Don't play League. If you don't have an account on League, you're safe, and you should stay that way. Thankfully, I've never played Roblox. And every time somebody tells me that they play Roblox, because I've had a couple people tell me, oh yeah, I play Roblox, and I just like, you do not look like the kind of person I would expect that plays Roblox. And I'm kind of terrified by learning this information about you. Cause like, okay, at first you're just like, oh, Roblox, yeah, it's just a fucking children's game. Like, who cares? Oh, that's fine. And then you find out that it's like filled to the brim with people who are role players. And it's not just like cutesy little just like, oh, just like little kids playing pretend type of thing. No, it's actual role players. And then it gets scary. I think I talked about this before. My last roommate at college told me that she was a Roblox role player. But what she specifically was role playing was a family where I think she was supposed to be the mom, and she had like 2 kids. I don't think she had a husband. But she had like this whole family dynamic going on, and she kept complaining to me about her Roblox kids, and I'm just like, respond to that. When I think of roleplay, I think of like, you know, D&D. And I'm very confused and morbidly curious why you continue to do this to yourself. Cause she was like, oh, I fucking hate this, and then she would keep doing it. I'm so, huh? Why? But like, why? You can just stop. You can uninstall the game. I would know. I uninstalled League 7 years ago. I don't understand. I don't understand. Honestly, same reaction I had to people saying like, oh, I can't just block this person that's scaring me or annoying me. I'm just like, what? Why? You can just block them. You don't know them in real life. They can't find you. What do you mean? Truly, honestly and truly. Infinity! My college was like... I mean, it's not like fucking Ivy League bullshit, but like, it was one of those colleges where like, you had to have good grades to be there. You had to know math and science and at least a little bit of English. Like, you had to be smart and actually have cognitive functions to be there. Which is why it's a very big surprise some of the people I met there, but they did drop out, so I guess the system question mark worked, but also should have... That's a rant for another day. College in America is another whole rant. But like, she was a very smart person. I don't understand. It wasn't a grades thing, though. It wasn't just a grades thing. Like, she was a very intelligent person, but also she was doing that. I don't get it. And I run into this all the time where it's just like, you're very clearly like a smart person who like knows what they want in life, and like, sure, you've had your struggles with one thing or another, and it's just like, and you're still okay then. You know what? I'm just gonna check that off as something that's just not my business. Yeah, no, I'm highly aware of that. I'm not saying like this was like book smart intelligence. I'm not equating intelligence to book smarts, because that's stupid. Book smarts are not the only type of intelligence, and I would argue that it's not intelligence at all. Book smart is just being able to memorize shit. But that was also a rant for another day. Like, I know, I'm well aware that grades are fucking meaningless. Oh, is that why I'm serious at the books? Sorry. Like, oh my gosh. I'm personally someone who's very book smart. I'm very good at memorization. I'm very good at piecing something together, especially things that have to do with logic and math and science. Like, those are things that make sense to me. If you tell me to write an essay, I will cry. I love writing. I don't like writing essays. And I know book smarts are stupid and don't make sense and are not equivalent to actual intelligence, because they did not teach me how to do anything remotely useful to being a human being. Like, sure, I can kind of do taxes okay. And calculus, I guess, helps sometimes when I decide to do something insane like attempt to make a video game, but honestly, Unity already does all the physics bullshit for me. I could just kind of put a number to it now. Like, truly and honestly, like, anyone can learn how to do anything if they want to put their mind to it. And I specify want to put their mind to it because I feel like you should not feel obligated to. It makes me think of like one of my mentors at my internship during college never went to college for computer science. He fully learned on the job, on his own, no sort of formal education whatsoever. And he was good at programming. Like, incredibly good at programming. He's very competent. The only thing he didn't know how to do was teach somebody else how to program or mentor somebody else. And I would personally argue that was more of a personality thing and a lack of social intelligence rather than book intelligence. Because that is something that you would see with just about anyone in tech, is that they are not good at teaching other people. But also the thing is, like, I feel like there's just, like, this excuse of, like, well, if you actually cared, you would put your mind to it type of thing. Which I can say for sure is not true. This kind of goes back to the art rant earlier, because, like, I have wanted to learn how to paint for ages upon ages, but I couldn't figure it out, and it wasn't because I wasn't putting my mind to it, or putting money into it, or trying. I was doing all of those things. It's just something wasn't clicking, and I wasn't being taught correctly. And on a similar tangent to that, like, learning how to study, learning how to research, learning how to do certain different things, I have struggled with immensely. But I'm also considered a very intelligent person. And it's not that I wasn't putting my mind to those things, or, like, not trying or anything. It's just I couldn't figure them out because I didn't have the proper learning materials for it. And especially nowadays, like, the internet is just filled with misinformation to a higher degree than ever before. So it's even harder. And, like, at the period of time where I was trying to learn how to research using the internet was also the period of time where Google started really fucking up the algorithm and making it even more difficult to get, like, proper information. But I kept being blamed. Like, I kept being blamed, like, oh, it's your fault that you don't know how to do these things. And I'm just like, I'm sorry, I don't understand how SEO works. I shouldn't have to. I'm a consumer. I should be able to say, this is what I'm looking for. And you should be able to be like, oh yeah, this is what you're looking for, right? And I'm like, yeah. That's how Google was supposed to work. And that's how Google worked originally. And now it doesn't, because it's bullshit. But, like... but, like, yeah, like... there is, I think, a significant lack of social intelligence, at least among my peers personally, definitely in my, not in my specific workforce that I'm in now, but, like, in the, what's the word? Not genre. Not career path, I don't remember the fucking word, but, like, other people in tech, like, it's a common problem where, like, someone can't just, like, go up to another person and explain what they're doing. And it's frustrating when you see shit like, oh yeah, I have no idea how this code works anymore. I wrote it one day and then I forgot what I did to it. And I'm just like, what? No. You go back there, you reread your fucking code, and then you come back and you tell me how it works. Because that's part of your fucking job. And you see a lack of that with a lot of things, I feel like, these days, where people are just, like, not willing to learn how to teach or to learn how to talk. And as someone who struggles how to talk 90% of the fucking time, that shit needs to cut out. Like, if I can put in the time to figure out how to talk to people and figure out how to explain things to people, anyone can, because I have struggled with that since day fucking one. And, like, they don't have to be, like, a fucking amazing about it. They just need to be able to, like, put it into words, for God's sake. Every time I go to work, and I get to another section of code that has no documentation or explanation of why it works, and I'm just like, okay, who do I have to murder? Who did this? Who do I have to drag in here and be like, okay, what the fuck does this do? No. You get that fucking curse word out of my chat. No, get that shit out of here. honestly though, that is sometimes what my job is, Daishima, and it's just like, why? You could have just put a comment at the top that says, this is what this is doing. That's all you had to do. You don't have to do that much. Like, I go above and beyond when it comes to documentation because I'm the kind of person who doesn't understand technical terms. There are way too many acronyms and stupid names for stupid things in tech, and I'm just like, no, fuck that. I'm just gonna talk like I'm talking to a normal person, because 90% of the time, that's who I have to explain this to. Anyways, they're a business-oriented person. They don't know code. They don't know what the fuck a JavaScript is. They have no idea. They don't care. It's not relevant to what they're doing. Unless JavaScript in particular is the thing that broke. Which has happened before. Oh my god. I understand the point of, like, a workplace putting a specific, like, image of the shit that they want on your computer and forcing your computer to always be on that image. But I also fucking hate it because they keep on uninstalling the Node version that we use and installing a different version, and we're like, no, we have to be on that version. That is what all of our stuff is on. Stop doing this. And they're like, sorry, we can't do that. You have to be on this image. So we have to keep reinstalling Node, and it's so annoying. And I think they keep doing that to Angular too, which is really annoying as well. Node is a thing that is used to build front-end web applications. Like, whenever you're on a web page, there's a good chance that Node was used to build that web page, to clarify. Also, when did you send it? Did you send it recently? I might have. Evil Wizard. What did you put it in? Oh, I forgot to click on it. I saw it, but I forgot to click on it. Life is like that sometimes. What are my cats doing? Are you good? I don't know what they're doing. Oh, but what was I talking about? I know I was talking about tech, but I forgot what I was talking about before that. No worries. You're learning chess? That's pretty cool. I tried to teach myself chess, but I don't understand the strategy behind it at this point in time. I'm trying to not convince myself to buy 5D chess on Steam. I'm slowly losing that argument with myself. I need some kind of strategy game. I need a strategy game that is not like real-time battles. I need something. I downloaded fucking Solitaire on my phone again because I don't have any strategy games on my phone. I was trying to find like just normal fucking Tetris, and I couldn't find fucking normal Tetris as a phone app. How is there not just normal Tetris with not ads and shit in the background? What the hell? There are all these just like weird block game where you're filling up a like 12 by 12 board, but it's not Tetris. Tetria? Thank you. I'm saving that. A tower defense. Don't talk to me about fucking tower defense games. I used to play those all the time. Somebody else mentioned it. Killer Stuka. Ooh. I will note those down. Thank you. I very much appreciate that. I just need something lightweight. I was trying to find a merge game, because it's not necessarily a strategy game in that you have to like really strategize for it, but there's a lot of like organization, and that that like makes my brain go brr in a fun way. So I enjoyed that, but then like they're all just kind of trash. And the one that I found that was like still trash, but still like actually playable at least, it's no longer available in the United States. And also, the app itself just started, like, slowly collapsing in on itself and not working properly. I was just like, what the fuck is this a virus? Is this a scam? Huh? I don't know what Limbus Company is. Am I gonna regret looking this up? What is this? No, that is the opposite of what I don't want a battle game. I'm not looking. I am looking for pure strategy. I don't want any fancy gimmicks. Nothing. Absolutely fucking nothing. I feel like I'm such a basic bitch at times where I'm just like, I want no frills. Nothing. Unless it's like some kind of like story-based thing where I'm just like, no, you put all the frills in. All of them. Every single one of them. What did Pluto look like? I forgot. Plants vs Zombies? Nope, that's real time. Anything that I have to react with a timer in any way, shape, or form is not what I'm looking for. Although I did enjoy Plants vs Zombies, I did play that. What I want is something that's like turn-based. Something where I can spend as long as I want making the decisions for the game, essentially. And I swear to God, if anyone comes in here and says Pokemon, I'm gonna ban them. Yes, I'm aware that you can do that with Pokemon. I've already gotten into Pokerogue, I don't need another one. You shut the fuck up! You shut the fuck up! Explain what phobies is. Tactically get the fuck out. Pathos. Have I heard of this before? This sounds familiar. Pathos game? Mm-hmm. Okay, but what is Phobies? What is the game? Turn-based strategy game tells me very little of what it is. What is the premise of it? I don't understand what's happening in these screenshots for Pathos. I don't know what Sokoban style puzzle means, but I'll put a pin in it for later. Oh, I don't want that. I personally play a lot of single player games, to be honest. I was never a Words with Friends person. I tried to play Words with Friends, and then I just went back to fucking Farming Simulator, whatever the fuck it's called, on Facebook. There's my pen. Like, 5D chess is one thing. We're gonna be there, we're all in the moment, we're prepared to play the full game in the moment. Oh god. Don't talk to me about Mahjong. I've tried. I actually. I tried to learn Mahjong, and then when I attempted to play Final Fantasy XIV, the one thing that almost kept me trying to play the free trial was the fact that I could go play Mahjong. But I ended up uninstalling it because I don't enjoy Final Fantasy XIV, which I'm sad because the Nier outfit piece, like the Nier armor pieces, those look so cool. But I also hate subscription-based games, to be honest. I also just don't understand the rules of Mahjong. All the times I have attempted to play it in any kind of like online game, they did not explain the rules. Like, they literally didn't even explain how the pieces moved. And I'm just like, what do you want from me? I can't just click things and try to figure out how it works from there. Teach me how to play the goddamn game! Honestly, the only thing that's stopping me from finding like a fucking foot poker or card game of some sort for this niche that I cannot seem to fill in my life is the fact that I refuse to gamble like that. I just, no, I'm not gonna do that. Which is sad, because I love card games. I love playing poker, I just don't like gambling. Like, if I could find one that was literally just, like, fake chips, they literally mean nothing in the game, other than just, like, keeping score for the particular game that you're in, that would be great. Oh my god, do you like card games? I6 Connect 4. God damn it, Omni! I was so excited! I was about to offer to teach you a card game that I really love! You can't do this to me! Okay, but for real, if I could get enough people in a voice call and somehow manage to set up a tabletop simulator with this card game and like wrangle all of you people into playing it, I would teach you all how to play May I, because it's such a fun game. It's a horrible game, but it's a fun game. Just play for souls instead of money. But you can't find that, like, all of the gambling apps, or the card game apps, where they're all fucking gambling apps. And I'm just like, I don't want that. I don't care. I don't want to spend money on this. I don't want to steal money from other people. I just want to play the game. Hi. Thank you for the happy birthday. Like, I don't care. Literally, honestly, actually, genuinely, I am good at poker. But the moment that there are stakes involved with poker, I will lose every time. I am cursed to lose. It's kind of sad, but also at the same time, it's just like, yeah, no, that's fine. I don't want to play for stakes anyways. I just want to play the game, because the game is fun. Oh, I see. That does sound interesting, but I think I would personally hate it. Not because I think it's a bad premise or anything, I just personally, I don't think that's the kind of strategy I'm looking for. I will probably, though, find somebody else who plays it and watch them play it instead. Not gonna lie, that is probably what's gonna happen. Play for stakes and stuff. I'm not in art fight this year. I knew I was gonna. I'm always every time I want to play art fight, I'm always super busy, and I personally feel like I'm never gonna have time for art fight anymore because I'm always like mid animatic. So Yeah, I mean, like, if somebody wants to do an art trade or something like that, I would probably prefer that anyways. They just have to catch me and ask me. Like, I know one of my friends who's participating in Art Fight, he plans to send me something, but I'm also planning to send him something, because we both have birthdays in July. No, this is not stupid. Art Fight is, a web game, essentially, where, everyone on it is an artist. They put their personal characters on the site, and then people can do quote-unquote attacks in the game by drawing your characters. Let me pull it up actually for you. It would probably help to have visuals. And I can show you some of the attacks I've gotten in previous years. There's always 2 teams though for Art Fight. Yeah, Art Trade Event Splatfest style is a good way to put it, where there's always 2 teams, and each team is the teams are themed, similar to how Splatfest is, and you pick which one based on that. Here it is. This is Art Fight. So like this year is Seafoam versus Stardust, and basically you submit characters that you have people are able to attack. And like, I think I can go to Luna. Like, for example, this is my character, this is her references and stuff like that. And then people can send you attacks. Like, this one was actually an attack here on Art Fight. I don't know why it's not labeled as such anymore. There we go, there it is. Like, this is an attack that I got on this character where somebody sent me this art, that they drew of them. And then you can do revenge attacks, which are kind of essentially doing an art trade where you attack the person back who drew something for you and you draw something for them instead. And you can see that I drew something for this person first. And it's all for fun and just like sharing art with other people. And just, it's just for fun type of thing, but there are points and there is a winning team every year. Excuse me, and I think you can see like statistics, and like these are previous ones that I participated in, and badges that I got from them. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. There's no like rules on like how much you participate or how little you participate, but there's also like just like social rules of like if somebody attacks you, you want to try to attack back type of thing. Some people are crazy insane and they do like hundreds of attacks within the month, and there's other people who will pick one person and do one really like good thing for them. It all just depends on like what you want to do and how much time you have. Oh my god, is it really? That's incredible. I've forgotten how to draw her buns. That's not great. I use she, her, and they, them for this character Pluto. But somebody on the animatic were like, oh my god, their pronouns are Pluto/Pluto, and I'm just like, wait, that's really good. Wait, I like that. That's hilarious. And I'm almost tempted to make it Neo pronouns, Pluto. Oh, that's cool. I also have played for 3 years, but not like consecutive years. Was my first one Nightmare? My first one was either Coffee or Nightmare, I think. I just remember, Nightmare year, I was very excited to participate because I was like, oh, I have to be on Team Nightmare! Or wait, no! There was one that was like vampires or something, I think. I think Nightmare, actually, I was conflicted because it was like dreams versus nightmares. Something like that. I was like, no, the aesthetics are both are so cool, but the Nightmare ones have bats on them, and I have to get the bats. As you can see, I have my priorities straight. Should I... How should I draw her glasses? It is a lot of fun, though. I simply do not have the time that I would like to spend to participate in it. I'm trying to get some actual drawing done when I forget words I'm supposed to be saying. I can either draw or talk. I can't do both at the same time. Which I used to be able to do both. But I get so excited about words. I have to keep saying the words. Also because you people keep making me fucking rant. Today was voluntary, though. Why are hands the worst? I'm looking at my hand. I'm drawing what I see for my hand. And it doesn't look like my fucking hand. I hate this. Sorry, can you repeat that? Did you just say McDonald's Japan? What? Also, where did my hat disappear? Did I turn it back on? I didn't mean to. Put the hat back on. Sorry, please explain. What do you mean? No. 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 Why? Why? I hate it. No. It's funny when, like, individual people put, like, a Mountain Dew can in their hands. No, get the corporations out of this. Stop. 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 You're ruining our fun. It's funny when we do it. It's not funny when they do it. It's just like, it's one of those VTuber hand assets, but it's holding a McDonald's hash brown. Oh, were they good? I do like hash browns. Hash browns are very tasty. Oh, I've got like some like diced red potatoes and normal potatoes. I should make more of those. Yeah, look, the problem here is not whether or not McDonald's hash browns are good or not. I just don't like it when a corporation is just like, oh haha, look at this silly meme or fad or whatever, and they're like, we're gonna taint this by making it a part of our corporation's brand. Like, no, fuck off. You don't get to touch that. It's not for you. Like, for me at least, the humor of memes and shit like that is like, it's just people fucking around. But you know, when a corporation is doing anything, they've got a whole team of marketers trying to, like, picture perfect, encapsulate it in this horrific marketable package for the grander audience. And I think that's dumb. And, not, what's the word? What's the word? It's just so fake. Ooh, don't make a lizardman joke. No, that's not a good joke. But yes, you're correct. Like, it's literally just, it's just fucking salespeople, and I'm just, I don't want... Get away from me! It's also kind of why I'm not like the biggest fan of quote-unquote corpo VTubers. I feel like they are definitely something that is like, they are trying to appeal to a market, which is fine. I honestly, I feel like it's a different space there where it's more of like actors type of deal, rather than just like a bunch of businessmen in a trench coat. But it still doesn't come off as genuine to me, in the same way hanging out with indie VTubers and streamers and whatnot does. But that's just a me thing. I'm very picky about the kind of content that I enjoy looking at in the first place. Look up kind of just the connotations of lizardmen, I would say. And any conspiracy theory, like, related to that. I know it wasn't, like, a non-purposeful thing or anything like that. Yeah, it's all good. There's unfortunately like a lot of like phrases and memes and conspiracy theories, as I said, that like they pull from materials that they should not. And any conspiracy theory, especially related to lizard folks or reptilian folks, or honestly a lot of the ones in general that are just like, there's a secret group of people controlling the government behind the scenes. Probably it's just a bunch of bigotry, but they're calling it a conspiracy theory. And it's, at least for me, it's less of just, oh, it's a conspiracy theory thing, and more of the, oh, you're not a good person if you actually believe that kind of thing, huh? Like, do you know the history of that theory? I've thankfully never run into any actual conspiracy theorists. Although I have had people, like, take the joke a little too far with, like, telling me that birds are robots. And I'm just like, okay, now I'm a little concerned if you actually believe that or not. Please don't You've told me birds are robots like half a dozen times. Are you okay? Do we need to talk about something? There's a person in college who kept doing that to me, and I'm just like, now I'm getting concerned. But yeah, it's really unfortunate that, like, there would be something that's seemingly harmless, and then you find out that, oh, nope, that's propaganda again. I dislike the state of the internet. I don't think that's a recent, like, state of the internet thing, but I know it's gotten worse. I think she was into that game. Like, not like into it in a weird way, but like played the game. I think she told me about it. I think that's how I found out about it. You can't make a joke like that. Send me to the fucking stratosphere. Oh my god. I will say though, if you're in a city and you interact with pigeons for the first time ever in your life, it will freak you out. They do move weirdly, especially compared to other suburban birds. And like, they give no fucks. They'll walk right in front of you and they'll look you dead in the eye and they'll be like, what? You're my fucking way. Like, they are a bird that gives the least amount of shits. I love them. They were adorable. I have to get all of the bands right on her hair. Why did I do this to myself? I know when I was drawing this animatic originally, I actually did a really good job of not making Pluto's hair too complicated, but now I'm looking back and I'm like, oh god, I have to figure this out again. I have to re-memorize the pattern. Birds are such a mood. I love birds so much. I need to make sure I don't miss the Ren Fair next year, because if they have the birds again, I want to pet the bird again. I really want to pet the bird again, okay? It's very important to me. Oh, fuck. I should have looked if there's any, like, places nearby that have an aviary where you can pet birds. That would be a fun birthday activity. I've been trying to find things to do that are not in my house because I am such a horrible hermit. But it's hard! Because, like, if you're just trying to find general things to do, you're not looking up anything in particular, so you're just sort of like, this is my area, what's happening? And it's all just fucking bars, and I'm like, I don't want to drink alcohol. I don't care about alcohol, I want to hang out and, like, do cool things. Like, by sheer fucking luck, I found out there's, like, a place you can make custom rugs at that's, like, nearby. And I'm like, oh, that would be so cool. But, like, I wouldn't find that if I just looked up, like, things to do in my area. I hate Google so much. I say that and I'm getting fiber next week. Spectrum is so bad. I don't know how much everyone else has heard about this, but if you were in Texas, this week you had a whole day without internet because Spectrum is garbage once again. And they're finally losing me as a customer. Like, I would understand damage causing there to be outages, but the fact that it was statewide, and not just statewide, there were outages across the entire country. No, but the entirety of Texas was dark for like 7 hours. Like, we had power, we just didn't have internet. And because no one had internet and it was so widespread, like, cellular data wasn't working either. I was on a hotspot and I still couldn't do my work that day because there was too much traffic. And yeah, like, the power grid is also fucking awful, but that's not necessarily on the same lines. Like, everywhere. Maybe it is. I don't know how it works. It doesn't matter. I shouldn't have to know how it works. It should just work. It is just Texas being garbage, but, like, the fact that it was not just, like, the Texas area affected by it is fucking wild to me. Like, how badly have they fucked it up? Oh my gosh. But people were saying fiber wasn't affected by it, so I'm hoping by swapping to fiber, I will not run into power issues like I have in the past. Or, not power issues, but internet issues. I don't want to have to find my way through a work from home day again. It's not fun. I don't know what kind of background I want to do for this, so I'm just gonna muck around with colors for a little while. I'm so happy with Pluto's design. It was one of those designs that just, like, clicked for me. I have a lot of designs that do just click, but sometimes I'll, like, sit there for a character for hours upon hours, days upon days, and I just can't figure out what I want from them. That's a great question. I have no idea. I'm obsessed with birds because I was named after one, and then when I when I decided to pick my own name instead, I decided I should continue being a bird, and I just picked a different bird that I liked better. It could be, though. Honestly, people who hate birds, like, why? Why would you hate them? They're wonderful creatures. They eat bugs for you. They make beautiful sounds. They're lovely. They're beautiful little creatures that are wonderful. And they just kind of hang out. Also, crows are really smart. And every time I learn another fact about crows, I get really excited because they're just such cool birds. I'm like, parrots are so cool because they can do so many cool things with sounds. And owls. And oh, I love falcons so much, oh my gosh. They're so pretty! And vultures, like, people are just like, oh my god, vultures are so gross and whatever, and I'm just like, no, they're wonderful creatures. You don't understand. Their role in the environment is really, really cool, for one. And, like, their whole digestive system and what it can handle is fucking incredible. But also, have you seen one? Have you seen a vulture? Because vultures look fucking awesome. They look so cool. And I think people are just jealous because they can't look as cool as vultures. And also because Disney propaganda, animated vultures always make them look like evil little creatures, and it's just like, I mean, they are just little creatures, but also they're just so cool looking. They're not evil looking. They're just wonderful. I was already enthralled by vultures, but then when I saw one at the Falconry event at that Ren Fair, like, I'm enthralled by them now. I want to see him again. He was so cool. I also just really want to pet another bird. I'm ambivalent about hawks in particular, but that's just because, like, I'm over, like, bald eagles and all that nonsense that everyone's just like, oh my god, hawks and eagles in the States. And I'm just like, but have you considered owls and crows and ravens and oh, what are they called? Not songbirds. I don't know. I love all birds. They're all just so wonderful. I've never seen a single bird where I was just like, why is that a bird? Because they're all just so good. Anything that is bird-shaped is just peak existence to me. Truly, honestly, like, it may just be one of us monologuing at the other at times because I'll just be so enthralled by birds that I forget how to speak. But that's fine. I'm totally okay with that. Please rant to me about birds. Please tell me your favorite birds. I used to get really excited when I was a kid to see cardinals and blue jays, because there was a few in the area, but like there wasn't a whole lot. So they were rare to see, and every time I saw one I was just like, oh my god, look, the bird! It's so cool! It's special! And I can't identify a lot of like common birds, but I want to get better at it. I don't think I will ever go like bird watching or anything like that, but anytime like the cats start getting excited because there's a bird outside, I also get excited because there's a bird outside, and I go over to the window and watch the bird with them. Which sounds so silly, but it's like, it's great because I don't have the patience to sit there for ever and ever waiting for birds to show up. But my cats will let me know if there's birds outside. So I can bird watch with them that way. There's also sometimes like squirrels and shit, and like, that's nice and all, but like, I'm here for the birds. I was wondering why this drawing of Pluto looked so strange to me. And I forgot that I drew the other style of noses for the entire animatic. And that's why she looks weird right here. It's fine. I'm just trying to figure out what colors I want for this, because I didn't really plan this out. Ooh. I want to look them up 1 second. I want to see what this bird looks like. It's very important to me. I'm not sure if I have a particularly favorite bird, but I do very much enjoy crows and ravens, like I said, and also peacocks. I think peacocks are really. Oh, this one! Oh, that's so cool! Oh my god, I love the crest of feathers. why does the one on Wikipedia, the picturesque one they've got on Wikipedia, why does it look so sad? Why did they... How did they find... Why is... He looks like he's about to cry! Why did they pick this one? I think it's just like the way the crest is right here, like it looks like sad eyebrows. I love them. It's so cute. Do they have more pictures? Oh my gosh. Oh, oh my goodness. Oh, it's a baby. Or maybe it's not a baby. It looked like a younger one. Oh my goodness. I want to look at more. You're so right. Like, I feel like even the more majestic looking ones kind of look a little derpy to me. Like, there's just something about them. I adore them. Thank you so much for bringing this bird to my attention. Oh, I love them. I love them. Thank you so much. Sometimes I get like, sometimes I send pictures of birds to one of my friends, and I'm the person who receives pictures of crabs, because I also very much adore crabs. If you have not looked up the purple vampire crab, please do so now. They are such beautiful creatures. Anyways. But I need people to send me more birds as well, because I love birds so much. They're just wonderful. I'm thinking for this I should do bisexual lighting, which has kind of become like a thing I've been doing lately. It's just pink and blue lighting. I don't know, it's fun. I enjoy it. And I don't plan to stop on doing it anytime soon. The masked crab. Oh no! He got long arms! Oh, that man can grab things. Oh my gosh. Oh, I don't like the colors of the ones I'm seeing just because they look particularly tick-like to me. But they're a crab and thus I am obligated to love them. And I do love the shape of them. I think the shape of them is very funny. So delightful. I also really like bats. I feel like there's not enough love for the different types of bats in the world as well. No worries, Lucas. Have a good evening. Like, oh, what are they called? I don't remember the name. Please Google. Show me the boy. Not vampire, not the white-nosed one or whatever. There was like this really funky one I saw one time, and I was just like, oh my god, I love this thing. I barely know what it is, but I adore it. It's so silly looking. They're just little creatures. They're just little dudes hanging out at night. I think they're wonderful. Let me see if I can figure out what I want to do for this background. Fuck if I know. Categories rats. Is this a crab? Oh! 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 I love him! Oh! Hello? I have not! Thank you for showing me! Oh my gosh. I love them so much. I used to have hermit crabs before I knew more about like their survival in not the wild type of thing. And I absolutely fucking adored them. They were wonderful. I did my best to care for them, but obviously hermit crabs do not survive in captivity as well as they do in the wild, which is unfortunate. At least to my understanding, they don't. Last I checked, they don't, and I would assume it is still the same. But also, like, they don't properly teach you how you're supposed to take care of hermit crabs in captivity, and that's horrible. Yeah, he's just a little guy! Oh, hermit crabs are so wonderful. They're so weird, too, like, when one of the ones I had passed away, it was such a strange thing. The larger of the two had survived, and it moved into the smaller shell that the other one had left behind. And I was like, wait, what? That's not the same crab? Why are you in that shell? That one's too small for you. And he just kept hanging out in the smaller shell. And I was like, oh, that's really sad. But they're just like, they're such wonderful creatures. They're just little guys. Honestly, if I had the chance to hang out with some hermit crabs again, I totally fucking would. I don't think I would raise them again, because again, they're not meant to be in captivity. They're wild little creatures. They deserve to be out in and out. But if there's ever any place that like is like conserving them or something, hell fucking yes. Yeah! It's so silly! It's so silly and wonderful. Maybe something like this? Maybe I change this to pink. And do blue here? Yeah. Something like that. I'll paint all of this properly later. I'm just figuring out what I want the shading and all that to look like. I'll grab this yellow. Oh, but yeah, I think at one point, because I was moving away from the place where I had those hermit crabs, we gave them to a friend who was raising a ton of them. Like, they had a huge tank of, like, a dozen or so. It was so cool to see. And they were, like, well taken care of type of thing. I very much trusted them with my little friends that I was no longer able to take care of. It does make me sad, though, that there's, like, a lot of creatures like that where it's just like, oh, yeah, you can definitely have your kid take care of these little creatures. And it's like, no! No! No, they're not for kids. They have needs and responsibilities, and some of those require, like, an adult to be able to manage that sort of thing. You can't just foster them off onto your kids. Like, that's not how it works. No! Like, I know rabbits are a very big one that often ends up happening with, and it just makes me very sad. A ghost hawk? That's a type of bird. I know that. I don't remember what they look like off the top of my head. Oh! Oh, now I remember! Oh! Oh, that's so cool! Oh my gosh. I've gone hunting once with my dad. We didn't find any deer at the time. It's not really a thing for me. I am, for one, far too ADHD for it. But I don't think I think I'm a little too squeamish for it, but the idea of, like, hunting with a falcon or a hawk in that kind of way is so cool to me. Like, the way that humanity has interacted with domesticated species, or ones that we've trained along with us, like falcons and hawks and dogs and cats, and even just domesticated food like chickens and cows and stuff like that. It's so interesting to me, and it's so cool how it works. I'm not a fan of stuff like breeding for breeds, or stuff like the whole domesticated fox thing that they were doing in Russia and stuff like that. Like, it rubs me the wrong way. Like, I thought it was the domesticated fox thing was neat at first, but now, like, after a while and, like, continuing to hear about it now, it's just like, you just want to say you can own a fox. And I mean, that's cool and all, but that's like, get a dog. Get a dog. You should get a dog. Oh, that's really neat. A friend of a friend, has a ranch specifically for, rehoming, I think it's donkeys? Yes, donkeys. And I just think things like that is so cool. And, like, yeah, stuff like that. Or, like, people not understanding the needs of certain breeds of, like, dogs, I think is a big one. Like, people don't understand that, like, huskies and large dogs like that have a lot of energy, and they need to be able to have the room to get that out. Like, it is built into them to need to do that. And it's because they had a purpose, they had a job, and they're just trying to do that job again. And like cat breeds don't necessarily have that to the same extent, but it's still there, like it's still present in a lot of ways. Like Maine Coons are very famous for their disposition, and it's because they were kind of like, I think like fishing cats, like they did come from like Maine, the state Maine, on some degree or level. I don't remember the specifics of it, but that's where the breed was found. And like they're built to go into water and to catch fish and stuff like that, because like they're a particular species or a particular breed of cat that likes water typically, which is very funny. And I love Maine Coons. They're such sweethearts. They have such wonderful personalities, but at the same time it's just like I'm always nervous on the topic of breeds and breeding with animals, especially cats and dogs, because as much as I love Maine Coons, I do understand that they also have health conditions, and if you are not very careful with the genetics of them, that can be a huge problem. That can be a huge concern, and that could make the life for the animals that you're trying to sell very bad, and I don't think that's fair to them. And especially with very controversial breeds like pugs, like we need to reverse that, very much so. But yeah, oh my god, anytime I see a husky down here in Texas, I'm just like, what is wrong with you? Genuinely, it gets above 100 degrees here. Why did you get a husky? Of all dogs, the dog known for being in the snow. Hello? Hello? Oh my gosh. Oh goodness, I'm sleepy. I mean, honestly, even up north, when I lived up in Wisconsin, like, whenever somebody was just like, oh yeah, I want a husky, I'm just like, are you gonna actually walk that dog? And like, let it get exercise? Or are you just gonna like treat it like a lap dog? Because that's not how huskies work, and you're gonna learn that real fucking fast. I feel like the same thing happens a lot with birds too, where it's just like, oh, it's a pretty parrot, like I just want a bird that can talk to me type of thing. Like, I think it would be cute to train it, and it's just like, you do not understand what you are about to get into, and you are going to regret that decision, and you're going to put so much stress on that poor bird, and it's not fair to the bird. And it's your fault, for sure, for not doing the research on what it entails to be a parrot owner. And, like, I knew a little bit about that with, like, parrots and stuff, but then, like, I have a friend who, their family did not purchase this parrot or anything, but they had a friend who needed to give it up because they couldn't handle taking care of it anymore, and my friend had to, like, essentially, like, retrain this parrot to, like, be okay around people because they weren't treated properly as a pet bird. And parrots in general just have a lot of social needs because they're such a social bird species and stuff like that. And it's like, it's kind of terrifying trying to navigate that with like such terrible like resources and understanding of these, and the misunderstanding that a lot of people have of parrots being some, I guess, easier because they can talk to you or some bullshit. Like, there's so many misunderstandings with them. It's just like, no, you don't understand. They're called exotic for a reason. Yeah, like, that's the other thing. Yeah, it's, if you're getting a parrot, that bird could outlive you, kind of thing. And people don't get that about them. And it's just like, you gotta do your research. You gotta understand what you're getting into. Like, when I was younger, I was like, yeah, you know what would be a cool animal to have as a pet? A bat! That would be really cool. And then I looked into it and I was like, oh! You shouldn't have pets. Or you shouldn't have bats as pets. That's horrible for them. okay, I'm gonna just try to find, like, maybe there's a conservation area or something that I can, like, help work with bats. So that I can still have that moment of, like, yeah, I get to interact with a cool bat and all that, but also, like, they're actually being taken care of properly. Ugh. I have a lot of opinions on pets and stuff like that. And I'm always really sad when I hear about, like, incidents happening with pets, and it's just like, you could have done research on that. But, like, I know it's not easy to do research, but if you're doing something like bringing a pet into your family, you should be trying at least to do research on it. Oh my god, yeah. Absolutely. Oh, that poor thing. I didn't have that particular problem, but I had other problems. Not with my dad, but other family members. Not my dad or my sister. But we would have issues where, like, there was a lack of respect for the pets in question, and it was endlessly frustrating because we would have to pick up the slack for them and treat the pets right in their stead, and it was fucking horrible. And it wasn't just one pet, it was several types. But one thing that irked me in particular is my cat Mia. She does not have front claws. And that is not my choice. I specifically, when I went off to college, I told my dad, do not declaw her. Like, that's terrible for cats. You should not declaw cats. Unless there is a significant medical reason that your vet says, yeah, you need to declaw this cat because it's gonna hurt them. You should not declaw cats. And I doubt even the other thing would even happen, to be perfectly honest. That would have to be a pretty rare case. But when I went off to college, at one point my dad was with our grandparents, and my grandparents have several dogs, and their dogs were bothering the cats, and so my cats would fight back. Because of course. Like, no fucking shit. And instead of, you know, training their fucking dogs, they were just like, you have to get your cat declawed. She's not allowed to have claws anymore. She's hurting our dogs. And it's just like, the cat is not the problem here. She is simply defending herself with the natural tools that she has to defend herself with. Like, your dogs are untrained. We are well aware of this fact. Like, they have no discipline whatsoever. And I was so pissed when I came back from college, and my dad was like, I am deeply sorry. There was nothing I could not argue against a type of thing. But yeah, if you didn't know, don't declaw your cats. It is literally amputating the first knuckle on their paws. And it may not seem like you're doing much to them, but it can, down the road, cause joint issues, among other things, with their paws, as well as it leaves them without one of their natural defenses, which it is their instinctual defense. They should have that. Among other things, it's just it's a terrible decision to do. There are better ways to do it. You can teach cats to behave and maybe even appreciate having their nails done. You can get little nail caps for them. You can do so many things. And that's like an important part of grooming is dealing with their claws. And if you're not doing that, you're not a good cat owner. If you're not providing them things to sharpen their claws on, you're not being a good cat owner. That is a part of, like, their needs. Yeah, it pissed my dad off too a lot as well, but there's not much you could do at the time. it was very frustrating. But it's all good. She's responded well to it. It is frustrating now for me, I think, at the moment, because Marjorie, my other cat, does piss her off a lot, and Marjorie does still have claws. So she can defend herself against Mia, but Mia can't do the same. And it's definitely done something to the dynamic there that I'm not sure I'm a fan of, so I have to come to Mia's defense pretty often, which makes me sad. And it's not even that, like, Marjorie is trying to fight Mia necessarily, she just wants to play. But especially because when I first got her, like, I got her as a very young kitten, she didn't really understand, like, how to play without hurting another cat with her claws. And so she had to be taught that, and she's still kind of learning that, I think, to an extent. Like, she stopped doing it with me, but I don't know if she's learned it as much with, like, Mia or another cat type of thing. It will eventually work itself out, though. Yeah! I need to get some more cardboard for Marjorie to scratch. She is torn through her original stuff. She didn't really like scratching posts, which is why she's got cardboard to scratch on. But I've been trying to get her to use scratching posts as well. And then I got some new nail clippers so that I could clip her nails. She actually has an issue with her dew claws, where they grow a little weirdly, and I have to make sure I clip those. I should probably actually check on them tonight, honestly. Yeah, exactly. I'll add the dots back in later. I just need to get the shading right. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, both my cats, like, Mia doesn't need to sharpen her claws or anything, but she really enjoys cardboard. She still, like, marks it by not scratching at it, but, like, still pawing at it in the same way that a cat would scratch at something. So I like getting her, like, scratching posts and stuff like that still. And Marjorie doesn't really use the scratching posts I have, but she does use the cardboard thing I got her. So I just have to get her more of that. I thought at first it was just an issue of, like, Mia had marked up the scratching posts I had originally with her scent a bunch, because, like, she's been using them for so long, of course. So I got another one, and then Marjorie proceeded to not use that one too, and then Mia was just like, oh, this is free real estate for me. And so she marked those too, and I'm like, god damn it, Mia! That one was supposed to be for Marjorie. You have yours already, silly girl. Cats are funny though. I'm thinking about separating their food and water. Like having a second food and water somewhere else in the house. Cause the place that I have it right now, it was fine at first. But again, Marjorie's a little shit. And sometimes when Mia's trying to eat or drink, she'll come over because she wants to play. And she'll bother Mia, and it's just like, no, Mia, you're fine. Or the opposite will happen, like Marjorie will be over there trying to eat or drink, and Mia will just be trying to walk by. they get on each other's nerves in just the funniest way possible. But they do like each other. Like, I've witnessed them just hanging out and chilling. Otherwise, I'd be more worried about it. Oh, it was really funny the other day. So Mia, in particular, has a fur texture that is very prone to matting. And it's always quite a bit of a chore to get her to settle down so I can comb out mats or cut them off. So I was looking around to try to find like a new like way to cut them off or like deal with them, and I found something on Amazon where it was just like it's basically like a little razor blade attached to a funky comb, but the shape of it makes it really easy to cut off mats, even like ones that are closer to her skin, which is great because she gets like a lot of tiny like minuscule ones next to her ears. So I got them to try them out, and her face, like she was not pleased with the fact that I was doing mats, because one of them was on her back legs, and she especially hates me messing with her back legs, which totally understandable. But she had some bad ones on her back legs, and I was like, no, baby, I have to get those off you poor thing. And it was so funny because like I took out the new comb and it literally just like snipped it off immediately, and I was like, oh, look, it was that easy. And then she like kind of like turned around me, and I was like, wait, that's it? You're done? That's all? And then she just kind of sat there, and then she started purring, and I was like, oh, nice. Okay, you understand. You're with me on this one. I thought it was so funny. She's definitely a big fan of the new matting comb for whenever she has mats now. Oh, poor baby. Oh goodness. I hope she recovers swiftly and safely. That's always really terrifying. I know when I first got Marjorie, I got really worried that she had an infection of some kind because she came in like not feeling great, and she had like a bunch of eye gunk and stuff like that. And they gave me some like extra nutrients to put in their food. And my previous kitty, before I had Marjorie, Annabelle, she had a lot of health issues. She had kitty arthritis and stuff like that she had to work through pretty often. So I know it's not fun. I personally, if I never have to pill a cat again, that would be great, because it always feels horrible trying to give a cat medicine. I feel so bad. Yeah, I'm sure. I can definitely personally relate. I had another cat that unfortunately, after we took him in and we did everything we could, he had liver disease and of some sort, and he didn't respond to any of the treatment, so there was a time where they kept him overnight at first, but then like he did have to come home, and then we had to try to feed him and stuff, and it didn't work out. Poor thing. I miss him lots. He was all gray like Mia is, but he was a slightly darker gray, and Mia has some white spots on her fur and like on her face and stuff, and he was just totally gray instead. His name was Benjamin. We got him a couple of years after we got Annabelle. So I think Annabelle would be 17 if she was still around at this time, and he'd probably be like 15, I think, probably. Mia is like 7, I think, 7 or 8, and Marjorie is like a year and a month old at this point, I think. I don't think I could live without cats at this point in my life, honestly. When I was off at college and I didn't have cats around, I got so depressed about it. My friend had a cat because she had a cat for an emotional support animal. So she got permission to have a cat in the dorms. And every now and then I'd just be like, hey, can I want to hang out with you too, but can I just come over and hang out with your cat for a little while? I really miss mine. It was so funny. And then like at one point we had a group project where we had like our own little like cubby hole room to work on it in, and she would sometimes bring her cat down for that. It was the best. It was the fucking best. Oh, that's so good. Yeah, that sounds like she'll be doing just fine then, yeah. That is true. That is very true. We had to put Annabelle on weight loss diets very often. Because that poor girl, she loved lazing around. She was the epitome of lap cat. She did not want to exercise. She did not want to move. She did not care about these things. She loved eating, and she loved being a cuddle bug. And she got jealous. It was so funny. Oh my gosh. She insisted on laying right next to me every single night when I had her. And same thing for my dad when my dad was taking care of her. She insisted on being on the bed with him. And she had to sit right next to his head. And if he was like on a phone call with somebody or anything like that, when he was like on bed on like his laptop or something, like she would get jealous and come over and like start making noises. She was such a silly kitty. Oh my gosh. Let me see if I can find a picture of her. I wanna show her off. I love Annabelle so much. Let's see. This would be in storage? Photos. Nope, wrong storage. Those are on Marjorie. Is it in media? Nope. Is it in important? No. Is it in here? Where the fuck is it? That's me. Oh, yes, there's Annabelle pictures and Mia pictures. There's a good Annabelle only one. There we go. Alright, let's see. Here she is. She was so gorgeous. Oh my gosh, like, if she wasn't such an anxious cat, like she could have been a show cat, like for like beauty contests. She was so photogenic. She was so easy to take pictures of, and she loved having her photo taken. In comparison, Marjorie won't sit still, and Mia could give less of a fuck, but Annabelle would pose for you. It was adorable. Like, if she saw you had your phone out or something, like, she would turn around and pose. It was so cute. Yeah! Oh my gosh. I think she was born with blue eyes, but they very quickly turned green. when we got her, and just biggest sweetheart in the world. Like, she had to warm up to you first, of course, being a cat and having anxiety and stuff like that, but as soon as she did, like, she would be all over you for pets. That's all she wanted every day, day in, day out, was getting pet. Very, very good girl. And then, let me get a Mia picture, because Mia doesn't want to be on stream. She does sometimes, but for the most part she likes hanging out directly behind me. Mia is very, very silly. Let me find a good silly picture of her. Yeah, that's peak Mia right there. She's so fluffy. She has so much fluff. And she just likes hanging out. She's just chilling. Get a good look at her. Oh, she's not behind me right now. Where'd she go? There's Miss Marjorie. Oh, I have no idea where she is right now. That's probably fine. She's not a troublemaker, like someone. I'm looking at you. Hi. Hi. Are you cozy? Yeah. Marjorie looks so comfy right now, oh my goodness. Whew, I'm not gonna lie, I'm getting very sleepy right now. And I should probably get some sleep on time for once this week. And not stay up till 3 a.m. In my defense, I did not mean to stay up till 3 a.m. twice in a row. But I should probably go to bed at like a proper time and not completely ruin my sleep schedule. But I think I will catch all of you folks tomorrow. It'll probably be Kingdom Hearts, and if it's not, it'll probably be animatic time. And I don't know when I'll finish this, but it was very fun to draw. I'm pleased with the result. I'll have to clean it up at some point. But yeah, I think I shall catch you folks on another day, and I will end stream here. Before I yawn in all your ears and make all of you... Oh my gosh, yes! Yes, please! Please, I love cat pictures so much. But yeah, good night!